So Finland has won the happiest country of the world title 9 times in a row, but that's only half of the truth. Because if you're planning on moving to Finland, there are several things that will make your life miserable. But with the right preparation, it can be one of the most fun places you'll ever get to live in. So in this video, I'll show you the honest pros and cons of living in Finland and how to prepare for your new life so you don't end up regretting your move. To start, let me show you the honest pros and cons of living in Finland. I'll analyze 6 different categories and perspectives so that you get a realistic big picture of Finland. Let's start with work because honestly, your job situation will decide whether Finland feels amazing or stressful. So I had a client, Nicole, from the US who moved with a job already signed in an English-speaking role, and she is still thriving 2 years later. But if you're coming as a student for entry level or without a job offer as a family member, it's a whole different story. So work and career in Finland. Let's break the pros and cons. Here are the tough parts right now. The job market is tight. High unemployment, layoffs, and even bankruptcies means more competition for fewer roles. Entry level is getting squeezed. AI and automation is hitting junior position in some fields, and studying for a degree in Finland doesn't necessarily guarantee a job here. English-only jobs are concentrated, like tech, IT, finance, academia, and engineering. Outside that, the Finnish language becomes a big advantage. And you may have to start low. Unfortunately, many skilled immigrants have ended up in food delivery and cleaning because they have struggled securing a job in their industry. Salaries can feel low compared to countries like US, Switzerland, or Germany. A lot of roles get filled through referrals, so networking matters more than people expect. 3-6 rule. And if you get laid off and you're on a non-EU work permit, you currently have 3 or 6 months time to get a new job or your permit may be cancelled. But what about the upsides? Work-life balance is usually strong. People actually go home at 4 or 5 and you're not expected to do work outside of working hours. No rigid hierarchy and no need for titles. Reduces necessary friction between your supervisors and colleagues. 4 to 5 weeks paid holiday per year is standard. Employer-organized occupational healthcare allows you to get treatment fast at no extra cost for you. Strong worker protections. Collective agreements get you better work terms, and labor unions can help if you run into issues at work. So the bottom line, if you can land an English-speaking job before you move, and you don't prioritize maximizing your income level, Finland can be one of the best lifestyle upgrades. But if you arrive unemployed, expect a harder and slower job hunt. Next, let's talk about money, because Finland can feel surprisingly affordable to some people and shockingly expensive to others. I've had American relocation clients telling me that their day-to-day cost felt much more reasonable here, and others say Finland is expensive across the board. So let's see how Finland hurts your wallet the most, and then I'll show you where Finland actually gives you value back. So here are the downsides. High progressive taxation. Making big money as employed in Finland is challenging because the more you earn, the more you pay. Relatively high cost of living. It can feel high, but with decent spending habits, you can easily make things work. If you run a business, hiring is expensive because employees often pay 20 to 25% extra on top of gross salary in employment costs. But what about the upsides? Taxes pay for real services, affordable healthcare, subsidized daycare, parental leave, and free public schools, although there have been some cuts as well recently. Housing is relatively affordable compared to many European countries. And reasonable corporate tax. If you're an entrepreneur running a limited liability company in Finland, corporate tax is flat 20%, which is competitive in Europe. And bottom line, if you don't use many public services, Finland can feel expensive for what you get. But the taxes often come back to you through the services you actually use. Next, let's talk about the part nobody puts in the brochures, your social life. A lot of people here move for safety, honesty, and personal space. Then they realize there's less small talk, more silence, and harder to make friends. Here are the biggest social downsides and upsides for newcomers. So making friends can be slow at first. Finns rarely bring new people into their circles casually, and friendships usually happen through hobbies, work, or repeated routines. The social scene can feel quieter, especially compared to big cities, and winter makes that even more intense. People don't usually chat with strangers, and often you have to be the one inviting others for coffee, a walk, or a sauna. Low energy environment. If you thrive in loud, high energy hustle culture, Finland can feel understated. Finnish language is hard, and many expats struggle with it, but even basic Finnish can open doors socially. Settling mindset. Finnish culture doesn't encourage to go for big risks like starting a business. Instead, playing it safe is common. For example, going bankrupt is often seen as a failure rather than stepping stone for success later. But what about the upside? When you eventually make Finnish friends, you may have friends for life, so it comes more down to quality than quantity. No one will come to talk to you unless they have something real to say. Great for introverts, no unnecessary chit-chat, no constant street selling or pitching in public spaces, and there are communities for pretty much everything. Sports, hiking, board games, you name it. You just have to find and join one. Calm pace. Finland is not performance-oriented and fast-paced. Instead, people take it easy in their life across the board. Bottom line, Finland is fantastic if you like calm pace and personal space. Wow, that's like poetry almost. But if you want instant social life or high energy environment, you need to be intentional. But it's absolutely doable if you build it through hobbies and routines and your own social circles. Next, let's look at how Finland's weather and environment will affect your well-being, because this is where people get surprised. In summer, Finland can feel perfect. Long days, great weather, and people are noticeably more social. Then November hits and everything becomes the opposite. So here are the downsides. Winter darkness. It's cold, dark, and short days can mess with your mood and your energy. You need a winter routine, like getting outside during the daylight, staying active, and having plans even when you don't feel like it. Winter logistics. Proper winter clothing is non-negotiable. And if you drive, you'll deal with winter tires and more hassle on the road. Summer light. The flip side is summer when there's so much daylight, it can even hurt your sleep unless you use blackout curtains or a sleep mask. But here are the upsides. The air and water quality is generally top tier. You can drink from the tap and just breathe. Nature is everywhere. Even in big cities, you're just minutes away from forests and trails. Spring and summer are amazing. Comfortable temperatures, low humidity, outgoing people. What else do you need? Great for outdoor people. Finland gives you activities all year like hiking, swimming, skating, skiing, sauna, and more. So the bottom line is, if you learn how to handle the winter, Finland's environment and weather can massively boost your day-to-day well-being and offer a wide variety of activities throughout the year. Next, let's get into everyday life, because Finland is easy once you're set up, but the start is where most people struggle. People hear that Finland is stable and efficient, and it is, but it's usually after you're registered, identified, and fully in the system. In the beginning, delays and missing steps are what creates stress. So here are the downsides. So the immigration process is paperwork heavy. You may need to coordinate things like your registration, getting a personal identity code, banking, accessing services. Figuring out the steps and correct order is stressful. Getting a bank account as a foreigner is a pain in the butt. It's not just for money, but also your digital authentication. Without this, managing your daily life is hard. Immigration rules have tightened in some areas, like the 3-6-month rule, tighter permanent residency, and citizenship rules. Policies can change over time, so you need to plan ahead. But here are the upsides. Finland is extremely digital. After you're registered and have strong authentication, you can handle a lot of things online from your couch without interacting with strangers. Perfect for introverts. Excellent public transport. In big cities, you don't often need a car. Infrastructures and institutions are reliable. Trust in police and public systems is high, and corruption is low. Filing taxes is surprisingly easy. Most information is pre-filled for you, and you're mainly checking that everything is correct and add some deductions if needed. And you can easily survive in English. Locals speak good English, and most important services are available in English, but I still recommend to learn Finnish for the long-term success. So the bottom line is that beginning can feel bureaucratic and slow, but once you're through the setup phase, daily Finland is safe, predictable, and easy to manage. And if you're moving with partner or kids, the next part matters more than anything, because it shapes whether Finland feels like home. So how is Finland for families? Let's look at the pros and cons. Here are the challenges. Kids integration. So if your child enters the school system, many municipalities place them in a preparatory class to build Finnish language first. And many kids adapt quickly, but some may struggle at the beginning. Limited English language school options. They do exist, but mainly in bigger cities, and spots can be limited and admissions be competitive. Partner integrations. For many families, the trailing spouse has the hardest time, because if their industry isn't English friendly or their profession requires Finnish licensing, like healthcare, learning Finnish or even retraining may be necessary. But what about the upsides? The education system. It's consistently strong, supportive, and free. Safe environment. Finland is extremely safe for children, and day-to-day life feels calm. Families get real support. Child benefits, parental leave, and subsidized daycare are good examples. Designed for family logistics. Public transport and public spaces are generally stroller-friendly and accessible, making it easier for families with kids get around. So the bottom line is that Finland can be a fantastic place to raise kids once you're settled, but plan for some integration challenges, especially for school-age kids and spouses. So is moving to Finland still a good idea? Finland is a great choice if you can secure a job before you move, especially in an English-speaking role. You value work-life balance, safety, and stability over maximizing your income. You're okay with slower, quieter social life and willing to build it intentionally over time. You're prepared for winter and not expecting constant sunshine and energy. You want a predictable system where things work once you're set up. You're moving as a family and want long-term stability, education and support. But Finland might not be the best choice if you're arriving without a job and expecting a quick and easy job search, you want to maximize salary or build wealth fast, you need a fast-paced, highly social environment, you're not willing to adapt to culture or learn even basic Finnish, you get frustrated easily with bureaucracy and slow starts. And to get your life started properly in Finland, you must know the relocation process to avoid mistakes, delays, and stress. Watch this, it shows every step you know to make your move Finland smooth.